John or Diane, did either one of you want to speak to the DRC board? You can just type in the chat if you want. Okay.
Okay. Hi there.
Joan, I was told that Sean will not be joining us tonight.
Okay. We've got one more minute. Do we want to start, or is this everybody that's going to be here?
I think Brent might show up.
Brent,
Oh, okay. Well, let's give him a sec, I guess. Okay. Let's go ahead and start the meeting. Susan.
I just took a bite of food.
Call the roll. Let's see. Joan Eaton here. Sean Platt, absent. Cindy Neely.
Here.
Nancy Hale. Mark Reynolds.
Here.
Bob Hamilton.
Here.
Frank Ganser.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, so do we have approval of the agenda?
John, I think we should have a report from the Board of Adjustment that you attended at some
Sure.
point.
Okay, I can do that.
And
Go ahead.
I believe that we should note, I received an email, Kent, I don't know that you did, from Nancy to Jennifer resigning from the commission.
Yeah, was going to bring that
Okay,
up
so
at the end.
yeah, we need to note that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have an opening. Okay. Anything else?
Don't
Can
think
we
so.
get approval of the agenda then?
I would move that we approve the agenda with the addition.
I would second that.
All in favor? Aye.
All right.
Against? Okay. No audience business.
Yes, we do have one person that would like to speak, Joan.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, is this, who is it?
Deanne Powell,
Deanne? Okay,
the Colorado Mountain lady on the screen. But
right.
yeah, she would like to speak. So,
Okay, Deanne?
audience.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. I am just avidly concerned about Strauss Park, and you guys have been doing a great job, but I'm really, really concerned that it's going to get changed significantly. And I've seen the more recent drawings and stuff of what the company has proposed. It's not suitable for here. It doesn't matter if they change the materials to barnwood and acceptable materials like that. It still doesn't look right. We need the fence around the outside, both for the Georgetown look and for keeping kids with skateboards out of there and stuff. We need, it has to be closed on that south end, or the wind will be so ridiculous, people won't be able to sell anything at Christmas market or whenever. I just super want to urge you guys, because you have the ability to make it need to be changed. Please do not okay the plans as they stand. They're just not right. You gave them a conditional acceptance and they don't look like Georgetown. It needs to keep looking like the Georgetown Christmas market posters. Changing it isn't okay. And after that, I'm sorry I am taking up too much of your time because you guys really do a good job. I'm really concerned about this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Deanne. Thanks for coming in. All right. So Georgia Co-Fed is the shed, which was previously approved and is just being moved. The location on the site is being moved slightly. So I was not here at that meeting, but from the notes I gathered, you wanted to actually see this. And so she has submitted this for us. So it's like been turned 90 degrees.
It looks like it's been turned 90 degrees, and it's smaller than it was before.
Yes, yes. But same materials and same style and everything. So yeah, it's a much smaller shed actually.
What do we have that says it's the same? Nothing else will change. Okay.
I have a letter from her from a meeting that she was unfortunately not able to get on to, and hang on if I can find it here just a second. But she had tried to get on the meeting when you were approving and somehow was not able to connect. And so she heard what you said, and I guess then, well, where is that? Some e-papers. But everything, she did say that everything about the shed would be the same, except the size was changing. Everything but the size of the location is the same.
Yes, but that means that the roof line and the materials
Yeah.
and the doors, because we talked about all those things.
Yes.
I think we should make that note, though, very clearly that
Okay.
all materials, the roof line, as in, this is a little gabled roof shed, isn't it? Mark, do you remember?
I think so, yes.
Where's
sure
Bert
we
where we need him and he can pull up everything that we've ever talked about?
So the materials, the roof line, and the previously approved shed style, right?
Yeah, indoor, the door, etc. Because we don't suddenly want to see some crossbuck,
A barn,
yeah,
right?
big
Okay,
doors on that south end.
okay. And so just okay, I do have that letter. If you want, do you want to hear it real quick?
Yes.
Okay, so this is dated November 23rd.
Yeah, okay, it's the same letter we have on the back of our,
Okay, yeah. So she did say that it was going to be the same. Nothing will change in the approved plan, the siding, the roof, the setbacks, etc. All remain as approved. So smaller and the orientation of the shed changes.
Yeah.
Okay.
but let's still state them.
You want to do sightings?
We did sightings.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I did write that down, that all the previously approved shed details will remain the same. And,
Right, so he has a COA for this already, right?
right, and I think she did request a new one, but I can do that tomorrow, it's not a big deal, so. So does anybody have anything else, or do you want to give me a motion?
I move that we approve the change in size and orientation of the previously approved shed for 311th Street.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Against? Okay, great. And we have Star Consultants.
That would be me,
Okay,
my turn.
all
Well,
right,
it's kind of an exciting time for that block.
yeah,
It's gonna really be, we have some owners who are, want to be way out and restore the storefronts. And we're gonna start with the 511 Rose Street, which is the old Troyes building. And if you look at picture A, that was came off a calendar, and it shows the original storefront as we saw it in 1953. What's kind of cool as we tore apart the inside of Troyes, all the original framing for the doors and original windows are there. And so we can tell exactly what we're going to use them. So we're not going to change anything other than tear the existing plywood off there, tear out the door, and put in that double door.
nice.
That's shown.
Mark, do the windows that you plan end up being those 3 panels that it looks like they are?
It's going to be right in the exact same framing, yes.
Okay,
Oh.
yeah, that,
If you
and the
go-
framing pictures are interesting from the inside because it does let you sort of see where they are.
Yes. Because the existing windows are in the original frames. And so right above the existing windows, of course, the framing starts for the next section of windows. And the crossbars in between the panels are still there. So when I say crossbars, it's not window dividers or anything. It's just what the glass sits on in between the sections.
Right.
3
so
sections.
There are, in 511, there are 3 sections of glass.
Mhm.
And the door that's in the hill climb picture
Yes.
on 511
Yes.
is actually a smaller door. However, the frame, if you look at picture C, and picture C is labeled sort of upside down, so put the C at the bottom.
There you go. I wonder who did that.
I don't know who did that, but C was on the bottom. Because as you can see on the inside of this, that door frame went all the way up.
That's correct.
And whoever shortened that may have shortened it in the 40s or the 50s, but the original door frame was the same as the door frames on, I mean, Hamel Block got a new front when William Hamel bought it in the 1880s. And his new front was pretty much identical from store to store. The 3 stores were there even then.
Hmm.
So the double doors, well, you look at lots of folks have double doors on the front of them. You look at the Ram, you look at, yeah, that was the common thing.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
And that's what is being proposed, is to go back to that original look.
That's correct.
We have a picture of the
That's
doors.
great.
Remember?
Yeah, there's a picture of the doors in there someplace.
E. It's a drawing. Okay. So on the drawing here, it actually says 505 rows and 511 rows.
That's correct, because it's basically the same door.
Okay,
The one for 505 has plain panels on the bottom, where the
Okay.
one at 511 has the decorative panels.
okay.
But it's the same dimensions, the same amount of glass.
I mean,
Okay.
just the doors and taking the plywood off the front of those buildings is going to make a huge difference to what that block looks like.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's going to be kind of exciting. I can't
Yes,
wait.
very exciting.
It's, it'll look like an Iceland Anderson and the Ram and so forth. It's going to change the way things look. All for the positive. We have some owners that are really committed to spending some money and doing it right. So it's very nice. We usually run into that.
Yes.
Do you know what they're doing in there?
It's going to turn into some kind of food and liquor operation because
Oh yeah, I saw the liquor application.
yeah, they applied for liquor.
Nice.
And if you get a chance, stick your head in there because he's got the new bar in and almost everything's done but the front as of today, really. Inside.
So he's really bugging his contractor to get going, huh?
Yeah, he is.
You gotta do that.
I
Okay.
imagine he is. He's not exactly a patient man.
Very patient. And he's done a ton of work himself.
I know.
Very dedicated to that building. And the history of that building also. So
Okay.
anyway, that's what we're doing. If I can answer any questions, I'd be more than happy to.
I'm curious why the difference in the panels between the 2 different buildings.
Well, I kind of talked, Cindy and I talked about that. We didn't want them to be bookends. The
You mean
doors,
on the doors, Bob?
yeah,
One's decorative and the other's not.
Yeah, there's no reason to believe that they necessarily were matching beyond being 10-foot doors with big glass panels.
yeah.
Okay, I was just curious. I mean, I don't have a problem either way.
One owner wanted plain panels, the other one wanted the little decorative panels like the Ram.
Yeah, well, then that's, But
Well,
all
it
of them,
distinguishes that they're separate properties.
yes,
Yeah.
they are separate properties. And all of the doors, the Rams doors are different than, the hardware doors at Iceland Anderson are different than the grocery doors.
Oh, I never noticed that.
So there's that.
That up.
All right.
But, yeah, those were two separate businesses too. I mean, in two separate buildings, actually.
Mhm.
On page 18, book 2, chapter 2, designs for historic commercial character area. So I'm in chapter 2, section 5, page 18. Well, mainly B. If a storefront is altered, restoring it to the original design is preferred.
I think that says it all.
Okay.
And on page 19, you have B2. Historic photographs of Georgetown and its buildings are widely available and should be used when determining the original character of a storefront design. We also had pictures from the very early 1900s, and all you could see was the top windows, but these top windows are the right ones.
Okay.
And you have A2, that if storefront glass is intact, it should be preserved. And some of the glass on the bottom is being preserved, isn't it, Mark?
We're not sure the bottom, yes, all the bottom windows stay. We're not sure those are original because they're not wavy glass. We have a couple panels in the upper section, but they've been painted over and we don't think those, well, we know those aren't original glass.
Yeah. Well, none of it may be original glass, given
Right.
the age.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure that we need. I don't think we need to do doors and windows because.
That two original kind of says it all.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Anybody got a motion?
I would move that we accept the application for, what does he call this outfit?
Star Consultants.
I have Steve's in front of me. As presented, Star Consultants at 511 Rose Street to restore the original storefront as presented.
Okay, do I hear a second?
I would second that.
Is there any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, against?
I abstain.
Okay. All right. And
All
then,
right.
what was
How
that?
about 505 Rose Street?
Are these both on the same one?
They're separate.
I don't have 505.
You have Switchback. Yes,
Oh, okay, it's a different name.
Switchback.
Yeah, well, I got switchback.
That's 505.
Don't confuse me. I just found that letter. Come on. Okay. Let me shuffle here. So we have Steve Skalski, who is obviously not with us on Switchback. So let's just, if you guys want to start
See how
discussing.
much they trust Mr. Reynolds?
I guess. Okay.
We should talk to them.
I'm speaking for Steve in Switchback Brewery, 505 Rose Street. Basically, this is an amended.
This is an amendment, yes.
We've already approved everything. What we're going to do is an original set of plans. Excuse me. Original set of plans. We had a big single door in there, and after talking with Safe Built and after we did the research on 511 Rose Street, we decided that we were going to go for a double door here, just like we're using down the street. So it's going to go into the original opening. We have the original opening. You can see it from the inside after we tore everything out of there. And it looks just like the one down the street. So that's what we're doing. The only difference is, like Bob stated, we're going to flat panels underneath the door rather than decorative panels.
Okay.
However, this is a more appropriate door than the one that we approved the plans with the single door in it.
That's correct.
Partially because we were not sure that Safe Built would even permit the double doors. And I'm pleased, because this is not a true restoration of the front, because the triple panel will be will not be affixed.
Yeah,
I'm
won't
not
get
saying
the
this
window.
right.
It will be a triple panel, but it'll be a operable 3-panel window.
Yeah, you can you'll be able to open the lower triple panel section, but we approved those things.
Yes.
So this is just for the door. So I would go back to the same set of sightings.
Mhm.
Book 2. Chapter, whatever it was.
Page 18, chapter 5.
Page 18 is not chapter.
I'll just copy it from the other one.
Yep.
Chapter 2,
Okay,
number 5,
section 5. Okay.
section 5, and
E. And page 19, B2.
yes.
Okay,
So we've got B and B2.
that never happens.
And it was just lucky that they walked in the door of Nisel and Anderson with a calendar about 2 weeks ago
Oh, yeah?
and said, look at this.
Yay. I like documents. Okay, so we got any other discussion about it, or somebody want to give me a motion?
Your turn, Bob.
Oh, I move that we approve the application for change to double doors as submitted.
I hear a
For
second.
the property at, was it 505?
505, yeah. Okay, do I hear a second?
Yes, I second it.
All right, all in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Against? Okay, we got that. So that's an amendment. He doesn't need a new COA, correct? Mark?
No. Just
Okay, so now,
Joan,
yes,
we have to make sure that the amendment gets attached to the COA.
yeah, Jennifer and I were talking about that today, about whether they need new ones or not. So she'll make sure she goes back and puts that together with the old one.
That's
Okay.
all.
So Board of Adjustments meeting on Tuesday was interesting, but what they decided was the applicant was willing to move the fence to a 6-foot height in the front on her own, so that would comply with everything. And the board was not willing to grant her 8 feet, even in the back, due to the view of the junkyard. So that's what was finally approved, was that 6 foot all the way around from the grade was where they were allowed to have their fence. So then they would be coming back to us, of course, for the rest, but they did not want to set a precedent by allowing an 8-foot fence.
Well, I think that.
They denied the variance, is what
Right.
they did.
Bottom line, yeah. Thanks, Kid.
Yeah, well,
They said no. So yeah.
They just said no.
Yeah.
That's all it was. Yeah.
But the applicant is understanding about the 6 foot in front, so we'll be seeing them again with the fence actual style and stuff.
Okay.
All right. DRC pre-approved list. Everybody got that?
No.
You didn't?
Did
It
you
was-
send that?
It was sent out separately. later.
okay.
like
Well, I know it was sent by
sometime
email.
today, I
and
think.
I actually had a copy, which includes the Millings edition that we had done.
Yeah, my only comment is that it should have a date on it. I think the date that was on it was like 2017 at the bottom.
Oh, a new
Right
date.
there.
Okay.
It should have a,
Yeah, we
Current
need to
date.
re-adopt it.
And then
Yeah.
actually, I was looking and I can't find mine again. I'm shuffling here.
Um,
I have it on the screen there.
Oh,
If you want.
Okay, cool. Yeah, go
Bob,
to.
are you all right with what the milling one says?
I am,
I just had one. Oh, here we go. On the millings, didn't we say that the location actually needed to be pre-approved by the town administrator? Did you opt out on that, Kent?
I did not opt out. I just copied what was in your minutes, in the DRC minutes.
Okay.
But I do remember that comment.
yeah, I do remember
about-
that now too.
We want to say
Yeah.
that, they have to get permission for where they're going to apply them. I know it says driveways only, but people do tend to take their a little bit of leeway. So that would be my only comment. Otherwise, I think it all looks good.
I think that
Would
should
you
go-
want that? Go ahead, Cindy. I'm
I
sorry.
think that should go right in the first bullet.
Yeah, before they go ahead and do it all, it really needs to be pre-approved by the,
The
So that
location
doesn't make it
must be
pre-approved. But
well, it doesn't require a DRC approval, but it
Oh,
does
okay,
require knowledge of the
Okay.
town administrator.
right.
Now, locations must be pre-approved, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before, yes.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
I had a
Yes.
question on the re-roofing. It's one of the earlier ones.
Yeah.
Should that mention or make reference to the town code relative to, like fire rating and wind?
Well, the 30-year or greater dimensional.
Now,
Yeah, I mean, it mentions that, so they're going for a higher quality shingle.
Yeah.
But, the winds up here, as we are currently witnessing, are a bit out of the ordinary.
Pretty good. Maybe you just in a parentheses after any re-roofing, which uses 30-year or greater dimensional shingles, and then in parentheses due to high winds.
Or right in parentheses after the first materials for total must be brought to present standards, parentheses, per town code or something like that. I think there's something in the town code that locks them into what they can use.
no, but it has to have a certain snow. I mean, yeah, well,
Well, that's roof design for snow load, but I know there's a wind rating
Yeah.
requirement. And I'm sure there's.
We
a
just
fire-
added that. We just changed that for the town code, the reference to the International Residential Code. That's just on the residential side, to a V ultimate of 140, which translates to just 108 miles per hour, 109 miles per hour. So,
that's what it felt like last night.
Yeah, no kidding.
I think if we just put, per town code, that would
Yes.
be,
Yeah.
that should be sufficient to give them a warning that, that they really need to find out what that is for their particular, if it's commercial, it might be different. I don't know.
Okay, great.
I think you could get rid of the 30-year. Get rid of the 30-year. Any re-roofing which uses 30-year or greater, because the 30-year doesn't have the wind load.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a 50-year.
Are all dimensional shingles that at least 30-year or whatever? Dimensional
No.
shingles will cover that.
Well, it probably should say any re-roofing which uses dimensional shingles should be 50-year or more, 50-year.
Okay, so 50 instead of 30.
Yeah, I think so. That way it'll get them pointed in the right direction instead of using the
Okay.
lightweight. Because
All right.
30 comes in the lightweight and it doesn't have the wind load.
Do we really still allow cedar shingles?
I have them.
Okay.
but I'm trying to get rid of them, but I have them. I mean,
So would you put new ones on? I mean, I didn't.
well, I have put new ones on a couple of times already.
Oh, okay. I mean, I like them, but I thought insurance wouldn't even do.
Yeah, well, and well, I'm not sure that my insurance company has ever looked at my house. I had a metal roof on when I first got this house all those years back, and that was really inappropriate for this house. And so we felt that cedar, Ron and I felt that cedar would be. The
Yeah.
roofing confuses me. Replacement in kind with inappropriate materials is not permitted. Any re-roofing which uses 50 years or standard cedar is appropriate. Can I change from my cedar to asphalt? I thought any change in materials on roofs had to come to this commission. Can I change from the cedar to the asphalt without coming for a COA?
That's a good point.
Well, I think
We
because
just-
it's you, nobody's going to say anything.
No, I mean, in general, because people ask all the time, when do I have to get a permit
Yeah.
for re-roofing?
Well, if it's
And
a
what
change,
we've been saying to them is
Yeah.
if you're changing the materials of that roof,
right.
you have to have a permit.
Well, yeah, because if you bought that house this year and it's got cedar shingles and you wanted to put on a metal roof, so you say, well, I'm changing it to metal, you would have to come in. So no matter what you're changing it to,
That's
You
not
have to
what
come
this says.
No, they
Yeah.
could go ahead and put on, the 50-year dimensional shingles without coming.
without coming in,
Yeah, you see, this is our confusion, Bob, because I think that's what
Yeah, I
this
think we need
says.
to be clear.
well, but if they're doing it with the appropriate material, why would we want them to come in?
Because what we have said is any change in materials will still need to be reviewed by the DRC.
So whether it's
I just wrote
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
And I think that we mean that. Yes, I think I have to come in because I'm changing the materials. What we don't need to do is if you've got a dimensional shingle roof and you're replacing your whole dimensional shingle roof with a dimensional shingle roof, you can go ahead and do it.
okay. So same thing, if you've got the 3-tab ones and you're going to move up to dimensional, you still have to come in.
Yes, it's a change in materials.
Okay.
Well, not necessarily because it's an asphalt shingle.
Well, that's
Still an asphalt shingle, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just upgrading to.
I don't know why we would need, if they're gonna replace a 3-tab and just go to a dimensional, I don't think we would care. We would certainly approve it.
Yeah.
It would look the same, right?
Yeah, would look better.
But I do think when we say any change in materials will still need to be reviewed by the DRC.
We
3-tab
probably should-
isn't a change in materials, as Mark points out. What we're trying to avoid is me deciding I'm going from cedar to a metal roof.
Well,
Because I would vote
can't-
against my metal
we-
roof.
we couldn't make you keep the cedar, could we?
No,
Okay, so,
as a matter of fact, I'm not sure that we even ought to say that cedar shingles are appropriate anymore
I
because
know.
the fire rating, the
Yeah, I
building department doesn't want you to put cedar shingles on.
it's not a real easy thing to deal
I
with.
mean, I would be fine with taking the whole reference to cedar shingles out and then just saying, instead of any change in materials, it'd be any other change in materials would need to go to the DRC.
Okay,
Right, and get rid of the cedar shingles entirely.
okay. Shingles, period. Yeah,
Is appropriate, needs to stay there. Any re-roofing which uses 50-year dimensional shingles is appropriate. Any other change in materials will need to be reviewed by the DRC, which
okay.
means now I don't have to come.
Well,
It doesn't matter to me, so,
yeah, I think you'll be all right.
Are we duplicating sentences now with any other change in materials will need to be reviewed by the DRC?
Replacement in kind.
One, and then all other materials must go to the DRC? Is that
Yes,
saying the same thing?
That's saying the same.
yes, it is the same,
Yeah.
saying the same thing. Thank you, Ken.
Okay. All right. I think that's it.
Any of the other ones were a concern?
I don't remember any.
Didn't have any.
Yeah, we have to be careful that the gutters and downspouts that people, when people ask about them and they're told they're pre-approved, but they have to be painted to match the house. Because we're beginning to pick up some gutters that are not. And you can see them.
Okay. All righty. That it for the pre-approved list then?
And it's just adding this one at the bottom, and then if you guys approve it, then we'll put the date down here.
Okay. Hey, you know what? On Windows, now that I'm looking at it, where it says like for like replacement windows, not necessarily, right? If
That
you
probably should be better explained.
well, if you've got vinyl windows and you want to put in new vinyl windows, that probably is not, good.
In historic structures, no, you don't get to do that.
So,
Well, and it means different things to different people.
right.
Sometimes they think, well, I'm just replacing the windows, but they're using different materials. And they're saying,
Yeah.
well, it's the same size.
Same hole.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. If you've got something, because there are, believe it or not, cases around town of inappropriate things. So if somebody's got something that we wouldn't have approved, we don't want it replaced.
Would we limit it to just sash replacements?
As far as not, yeah, I would, I could see doing that, Bob, but as far as pre-approved,
Right.
replacement of,
I think any other window we'd want to know about.
because that's the frames and it's all,
Yeah, it
Those-
doesn't,
Is
it
that-
doesn't affect the exterior appearance at all.
Are those going to only be wood then? Replacement of wooden sashes or wooden windows?
wooden sashes.
Something like that.
No, we need to make it, it's just a sash replacement.
Just take out windows.
Maybe we would say something like like for like replacement of window sashes only are pre-approved. All other window changes should go to the DRC, something like that.
Yes, I like that. Yeah, good. Yep.
Okay, that's all I had then. And the date at the bottom.
I would move that we approve the revisions to the pre-approved list.
I would second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, great, thanks. And now we have the 2021 Saving Places Conference. And has everybody been getting emails about that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And then I have some stuff that was in my
Bob,
box.
did you get any emails about that?
Hmm?
The Saving Places Conference?
I saw the registration summary that came through.
Yes, the
Jennifer.
registration comes through, but it's registered, Joan, to you and Mark and to Brent.
Uh-huh.
And because it's online, I don't know that we can share it.
Okay, let me ask Jim what we can do. If I can just forward all those to you then. I've been getting like notifications that they're actually this week, starting on the 12th for like a week or so, maybe even 2 weeks, taking comments and input from people as far as courses they would like to see or things they would like to, be able to participate in. So let me go through my email and find one of those, and I'll see if I can just like copy that or forward that to everybody. And then I'll make sure when I get them, because apparently there's some preceding emails that I'm going to be getting about it. Did you get that, Mark?
Yes, I did. Yep.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But what I'm saying is that when we come to the actual conference, only the people that we have signed up will be able to get in.
Oh, we can't all sign up?
Well, we haven't all signed up.
Ah,
Signed up you and Mark and Brent.
okay.
And Jen got scholarships for all of you. So all of you are scholarship students in this thing.
Oh,
But if I want to listen to a couple of sessions, no, I don't think I can sign in at all.
Well, wouldn't it have an ID? Wouldn't it be handled like a Zoom where you'd have a webinar or you would have an
Yeah,
ID?
I don't
But
think
I'm
it's to
not-
my
I'm not signed
particular.
in. I think what they have on the other end is they have the emails of the participants.
Oh, okay.
So I can't sign in as Joan if she's there.
Okay, but if there's one so we can't do one at the same time.
Well, I'm
Online.
not sure I can sign in as you ever. I mean, I don't know how it works. How do they know I'm not, signing in as you?
Okay.
I don't know, Ken, if it would break the town's budget to give us a couple of registrations that we actually pay for.
It wouldn't. I mean,
We did ask really nice.
no, we can for Brent and for Sean, but for Cindy Neely, I don't know. Maybe.
Well, I think Brent got a scholarship.
No, I think we've got everybody except Sean and me covered, right?
Well,
No, Cindy.
Oh, and Cindy, yeah,
Yeah.
are you
Cindy.
in through the
Cindy's got connections.
Historic Georgetown?
no, I don't get in for anybody else
Okay, so
this year. I'm
so
an
we need-
orphan this year. I
we would
get to
need
be
3
adopted
more.
this year.
Okay, I'll talk to Jen tomorrow when I go in and I'll take a look at it and see. I've got a confirmation number here, and I'm assuming that's probably tied to my email. I don't.
Well, from what they're telling me on the other end, yeah, you can only sign in from that person's, in order to sign into the webinar, they have to recognize you as a registered address.
Okay. You know what? Mine says Mark Reynolds on it. Maybe she just printed up one and put it in everybody's box.
I think she did. Yeah.
Okay.
I have one that says Mark and one that says.
Oh,
you.
it's got, okay. It's on the back here.
It's on the
Right.
back.
Didn't look through it all the way.
But if it's okay, and I would hope that we would, go ahead and try to figure out, because there might be a few things that Bob would like to listen to.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we can do that.
all
Okay.
weekdays. And so if,
Well, you can check with the organizers too, as far as how this is really working.
If
So,
just 3 of us are on at any one time instead of
all right.
3. Okay. Yeah, we'll check on it.
I could actually loan Bob my laptop.
Well, that's what I was just wondering if that would work. I could give you my laptop, Cindy, because I can use this computer upstairs, and then you could, because it'll be me
Well-
signing in from there. Apparently.
Well, if I was
think that we
already-
need to figure out a little bit more about how it works because
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
for us to try to trade in the middle of the day, because
Yeah, we need a teenager to clue us in on all this computer stuff.
yeah, I'm not really good at it, but I would like the ability to go and to listen to
Sure.
a number of these and without necessarily having to totally make that choice in the next week or two.
Yep. Okay. All right. I'll talk to Jen tomorrow and see if we can kind of figure it out. I'll get on my emails tonight and see what it looks like. Okay.
Then in keeping with what our public business was, Kent, at some point, do we get to see the construction drawings for Strauss Park? Because the things we saw, we asked for some major changes to.
They're working on it. It's not ready. They're not far enough along to bring it back to you guys at this point. I just talked to them last week, and they're sending it to the subcontractors now that draw different, the electrical subcontractor, etc. So
But at some point, it will come back to us.
it will come back to you. Yes, absolutely.
I think that's the
And
problem.
that's-
There's a
Well,
misunderstanding.
construction drawings don't, right now, they don't come back to us.
Right, but this
I'd like
does.
to follow up on, is there a way that for major projects, and maybe we can, when we hear the initial design review, we can decide whether we want to see and have a voice on the construction drawings. Because I certainly
Well, that was
would want to do that on Strauss Park and more importantly on Bighorn.
And that's what tripped us up on Bighorn, was the fact that we
Yeah.
approved this
And I think,
concept.
we should, that would probably trip us up on the other apartment that was built on Griffith Street. That, something major like that, I think we should follow it all the way through to occupancy. And I don't know I don't know how we put that in our responsibilities, or if we want to even put that in our responsibilities.
it was part of the motion. From what I remember from last March, it specifically stated that the construction plans need to come back for the Strauss Park project. Now, if we wanted to do that for more often, the only thing I'm thinking of right as you were talking about that, Bob, was would we need a code change
Well, that's what I'm wondering.
to make that part of the regular procedure,
What I don't
or
have,
just in your motion that you say, for this project, we want a follow-up once,
to see our
construction plans
changes
are
in your
drawn.
construction drawings. Because
Right.
we're supposed to stamp final drawings, and we used to stamp final drawings, Ken. We used to have a stamp that we put on the drawings that we approved, so we had a set that this is the set that it has the DRC stamp on it.
Right.
Literal stamp. And so a concept might come in, but then when somebody had their literal drawing, you got the drawing to stamp. And I'm not.
Well, then I have a question. What would, because there's things that come up in the building plans, and then the building official, in order to approve the drawings, it has to meet so many different codes.
Right.
Who would govern if
If they're making an exterior change.
if
then
there's a conflict? Yeah.
If there's a conflict, I believe they have to come, we have to be informed that there is a conflict. To
Right.
see whether we can resolve
Right.
the conflict.
Right.
But that's, see,
That's-
what
that-
happens is the building inspectors now, when we had our own inspectors sat in on our meetings all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. He
Yeah.
did.
Inspector was there. And now that we've
Right.
gone to Safe Built, we have people making changes in the field rather than coming back and saying at the next meeting, so-and-so was doing this and they have to alter the windows here and here and here because of the code. Are you okay with that? And how do we do it? We lost that whole communication
Yeah.
when we went
Yeah.
to Safe Built. That's why I'm definitely with Bob on saying, I think we need to identify on major projects when we would like to see that our recommendations have shown up in the construction drawings.
And what you're describing, it needs to be a little bit formalized so it happens with each one, and it's not arbitrary, which project follows that procedure.
Well, we have a definition of a minor project and a major project.
Right.
And
But
so-
no, what you're describing, when you say a major project, are you saying even for like just a regular house or a garage? The garage that's being done here on Max and Jan's property. If there was a change on that.
On the back of our applications was the definitions, and I don't have one right in front of me, was a definition of.
Yeah,
minor
and
projects and major
major
almost everything's a major project though. So
I
if
think-
you wanted just the major projects, that's fine. But
I mean, that to me would be the easiest way.
How about if there,
Still
if
think
the,
you'd have to go to a code, a town code change, or at least a review to make sure the authority is there.
right.
I mean, is that something Gerald can do, or?
Yeah, I think so. I can describe what you're trying to get to and see if it would require that. It'd be a simple ordinance to do, what I'm thinking of, but
And then we would have to decide where the line is, because no, every garage, every shed. I don't know how a major
well,
project is defined anymore because.
yeah, let's review that at the next meeting, the major project versus minor project. I can bring it up, but let me have a little bit of time and you guys a little bit of time to think about it.
or maybe the
Let's
difference
discuss
between
it
a
at the
major
next
and a
meeting.
minor change in something, if
Yeah.
electrical or plumbing necessitates a window gets moved over 2 inches, I don't, and it has to be, I don't feel like we have to be in on that if the window is still the same window, things like that. But, the leaving off the porch or the whatever is much more of a major change for sure. All right, everybody want to think about that?
Need to be a change to the exterior appearance. So none of the plumbing or mechanical or
But it-
electrical or those kinds of changes would matter.
But if that caused you to have to move the
Wind
window
up putting
over a little or something.
the electrical outside instead of inside, it makes a difference.
Yes, yeah. If
Yeah.
it's visual, if it's a visual change.
And I mean, we pick all that up on a plan review.
Okay,
Okay, let's look, let's think about that.
And then how far do you carry it? You just, do we get out of the picture at approval of construction drawings? Or do we go all the way through to COA?
What the law says is that the building official will enforce the DRC. The problem is that they don't. I think we ought to pull out the law. We ought to pull out what we have and say, okay, where are we? And do we need to?
It really
adjust?
wouldn't hurt us to be able to sign off on the seal of the building before they give occupancy to it.
maybe if that's just mentioned at the time they get their certificate from us, that we will be reviewing the project at the end to make sure all of our stipulations or whatever were followed.
That'd be
And
the easiest.
that's when we will sign off on it or not. So they know if they're going to change something, they're going to have to come in.
Well, that's certainly we put a
Right.
lot of teeth in the certificate of
Occupancy.
the DRC certificate.
Yeah. But if we can have the authority or one, give it to Kent to sign off on that with our approval, then they'll know if it's not done the way we had approved.
Kent, does the town have to sign off on the CO or just Safeville?
No, it's us, and there's spaces in there for the different departments within town. In fact, we're just doing that with the hotel. And I went back to your original approval of the hotel and I did a worksheet and went through all those items. So
Nice.
they're getting their trash dumpster enclosure done here within the next week. They're going to have their CO, but And then the parking lot lights are being installed tomorrow. So, but they will have the CO for next week. So
Wow.
they're finishing up on the
is that a
dumpster. Everything
checkoff?
else is done.
Is that
What's that?
Is that a check off on that list of agencies that have to, you know, I mean, you chose to do that, which we thank you
Right.
for.
Yeah.
But is there any line on that that says meets certificate of appropriateness?
It just has town departments. We can add one within the computer program that has that.
That would be
It doesn't show on the official COA. It just shows in the computer
in the
software.
computer, but to have that
Yeah.
line added, so a regular check is made at
Right,
that point.
right.
Then we wouldn't have to change the town code or do anything strange. We could
Yeah.
just decide how we're going to administer that.
Well, let's also take,
Well, it's a matter of getting in the habit of doing it so that that's something you check before finishing it out. That's the problem is the COs, we don't have enough buildings that get a CO per year that it's not
Totally.
a regular thing. So
and there are some projects that don't require a CO that we likewise are major projects and we would like them to, we would like them to.
right, like the garage and I'm not the one on Main Street. I hate saying people's names on a videotape, but or like George's earlier tonight, the shed, that's not going to require a CO,
No,
but you know,
be checked off the
that
properly.
that's an example though
A
of
building
something you
addition
want.
would require a CO.
Bob, you're sitting back too far.
Sorry. I would think a building addition, like the property on Main Street, the garage, no, but any habitable space would require a CO.
That any,
If it's an addition, I mean, not just a renovation, but an addition.
It does, but it's awful hard to govern that, obviously, you know, when it's just an addition to the house. I mean, it's not like they don't start using that addition before
Yeah.
it gets final checked off. Yeah. I'm gonna write down
I
to
would
get
think
that.
it'd be appropriate for us to review the town code with reference to DRC responsibilities and authority.
Yeah.
I think it's probably time to do that.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody.
This is-
You all look so great.
Yeah, good to see you.
Excuse me.
You have to call tech there.
Yep.
I think he needs to get out of the house more often. He misses his people.
He does, believe me. And I suffer for it. Okay, I lost you when we were at the end of just talking about, I'm assuming you're at the end of talking about,
Yeah.
you know, certificate of occupancy stuff. Did you start minutes?
No,
no,
Nope.
no, we just agreed that we need to review what our codes say about all of this to begin with and to put it again on our agenda.
okay.
So we'll have two items on the agenda. One, just a quick review of the minor and major projects, what's on the form right now. And then two, as far as DRC responsibilities and how that works, as far as what the town code says. Correct?
Yes.
I can't hear you, sir.
Yes, Cindy. Okay. Okay. So, did anybody get a chance to look at the minutes?
I looked at the December 10th minute
Yes.
and on under Bighorn the crossing apartments, the second bullet, it says 5 windows are missing and the 3 that were to be triple panel probably take out triple panel and put in individual windows are currently one extra wide single window or one extra wide window, something to that effect. And then
So then on down on the fourth one, a metal roof between the first and second floors is missing. It's actually, the roof is there, but it's not metal, it's asphalt. So the roof that was to be metal is asphalt.
Was it there? Or did they just add that?
Well, that's the
the
one
roof-
that's,
the roof between the second floor on the Argentine, on the west elevation is missing.
okay, so we're talking about two different things. So on, I don't know if you guys can see close enough, that little roof that's there,
Oh.
it was supposed to be metal, but it's not. It's there, but it's not metal. But then all of these lower ones are not there. So I don't, maybe we're both just rewarding it differently. Yeah, the porch roof things are all missing.
And then we could add another bullet, and some of the roofs that were supposed to be metal
Yeah.
are not, they're all, everything is asphalt.
Right, right. And we also did want to see a landscaping plan further down the road, which they needed to realize was going to have to be a xeriscape or deal with the water situation down there. So that was not, I know he didn't do that this last time, but we did talk about a landscape plan in the future. And the utilities and transformer needing to be shielded.
Yeah, but that bullet list is just that you're doing, Joan. It is just the one that we discussed. What we saw that was not correct.
Okay,
It's
okay.
not the bullet list that we created.
That's
as
a
we
further meeting.
happened.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. That's
So,
fine then.
No, that's
All right.
That's all I had.
Yeah, that's all I got.
under historic Georgetown, Susan. We recommend they stay in compliance with historic Georgetown's design
See
requirements.
where you are.
On the front page, under old new business, the December 10th.
Okay.
Second one.
Yeah,
Okay.
DRC noted that the property is out of their jurisdiction, but recommends they stay in compliance with historic Georgetown's design requirements. Because we don't have design requirements on the property on top of Saxon, but HDI does. The other thing I would note is that we voted to purchase 5 tickets to the conference.
Yes,
And
yes.
Mr. Brown was going to approve that and take care of the purchase. Yes.
Okay. So do we have approval for December 10th minutes?
I would move that we approve them as amended.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And then we have January the 4th.
And this is where he's reporting what they're going to do with each
Okay.
of the questions that we had.
I think we should say that the three that, on the second bullet there, about the 5 windows, should be single. Yes, it should be single windows, but currently there's one long horizontal window. You get that, Susan? I was kind of mumbling.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to the other ones and change them the same,
Okay.
right? Yeah.
And Susan, on the last bullet point that I have on that first page about the rock pile signs, what you called rock pile signs, they are gabion basket signs.
How you spell that?
Gabion,
Baskin?
basket, like a basket
Oh, okay.
signs. Because that really sort of defines what they are.
Yeah,
as
I
opposed
think
to
they're
a rock
ugly.
pile.
Okay, on the metal roof between the first and second floors is missing, as are the dormer style entrances to the apartment. He plans to include wood slat roofs. That's
No.
not,
Not right.
no.
Okay.
I think
And-
that's,
You're talking about two different things.
Mhm.
He does plan to include a wood slat roof that'll reach around to the north, reach around on the west side to the north and south, but it is a different thing than the metal roof that was missing.
No, okay, I'm not talking about the metal roof. I'm
No,
talking
I-
about the
I
porch.
recall. He's gonna put that portico or that porch roof in,
Yeah,
and it's gonna be just a, an open frame underneath, but would either be asphalt or metal. Who's gonna,
I
he's,
don't think it's gonna be
That's what I-
metal.
it's not gonna be metal, it's gonna be asphalt roof, but what they're doing is changing it from that open slat look to a roof system
Yeah,
to match the front
gonna match
porches
the other-
side. Yeah.
right.
the other porch roof that go all the way around the perimeter?
I think he's already done
She-
Okay, then on that bullet point, we would be saying, I'm at the bullet point that says a metal roof between the first and second floors is missing, as are the dormer style entrance to the apartments. Is that correct?
Yes,
that, yes.
Oh.
Okay, but what he plans to do for the roof that he's putting up shouldn't belong in that same bulletin point, should it?
the confusing thing is that with the metal roof missing, because that roof is there, it's just that it's not metal. So I don't know if we want to,
Roofing material, maybe just
Yeah,
say roofing
yeah.
material instead of,
so,
We just say the roof is missing between the first and second floors on the west elevation.
yeah, that's good, without metal. It's not gonna be metal.
Can I do this?
He's
Can
not
I
gonna go into the
send
dormer
this to
to get
somebody
to
who will know what they're talking about more? Bob, could I maybe email this to you when I fix it and you can just see if that's
Mhm. Yep.
No, that would work
I
because,
don't always know what I'm talking about
yeah, because this is very hard to describe,
because you can't attach a picture, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so it's a fully shingled wraparound porch, basically,
We
right?
ought to attach, can we attach that rendering
The drawing I have.
that he gave us last time at the meeting?
To a
Yeah, I attached it to their CO request thing. It's already attached, yeah.
But the minutes have to,
But-
They just have to describe it.
yeah, the minutes have to
The
describe it
minutes-
somehow. So if Susan wants to send them
If you
to,
want to send it, I'll take a shot at clarifying the minutes and then I'll send it around to everybody.
okay.
Okay.
And then we can,
Get the way you
I'll
want
do
it,
that
I'm good.
tomorrow.
Okay,
You'll get it back to me, you'll get it back from me tomorrow.
okay, and then we got the gabion baskets in the next one.
But at this point, we're going to, what do we do? Table them
Let's
minutes? Just say
Skip
when-
over it and go back and approve it next time.
Yeah,
Okay, we'll have the
How
changes.
about I
And
make
do,
I'll make a motion to table the minutes till the next meeting.
Okay,
I would second that.
all in favor? And then we have January 7th.
I think that's very straightforward. That's what we did. I would, and unless you or Mark see something, I would make the motion to approve the minutes of January 7th.
We'll second that.
All in favor?
I,
Okay. Thank you.
Joan,
Yes.
would like one thing. Actually, Georgia Cofed was in the attendees. I think she had a different name to start with. When I asked if anyone wanted to speak, she didn't say anything. And then
Oh,
she wrote something in the chat later saying she was here and wanted to let us know she was on the call. And I just, we were several items past her
oh,
thing
no.
by that time. And I just told her, I apologize that I didn't see her. or
Okay, do you tell her that she got approved?
See the chat. Yes, I did tell her she got approved.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I think she can't get on her computer. She has to call in, but I didn't, usually that, okay, I see the chat thing now. Okay, well, I apologize for that.
Could we send her an email and tell her that we're gonna review before the plans are accepted?
Did we send her one?
Okay,
Just send her an email, just saying, answer her question, that we are gonna see it again before construction starts.
No. He's talking about, you're talking about Deanne.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
He was talking about somebody else.
Georgia, the
Oh.
the shed.
So
shed
that-
in-
about
Oh, I'm
Strauss,
sorry.
about the shed or about Strauss Park?
Yeah, she was talking about the shed. What
Okay.
Mark was saying, would you send Deanna something and say, yes, we will be seeing it again before it's constructed?
I will.
Strauss Park.
I've told her that directly, but I'll send her an email in writing with that as well.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay,
Probably from Jennifer because that would be
Better.
That's fine.
received better than from me. So
you wouldn't call on her.
We should note in our minutes that that Nancy Hale has resigned from the commission. So if that's not noted from earlier, it should be noted.
Okay, and did we vote on those last minutes, Susan? Did we vote on the last minutes? Okay. All right, well, if nobody else has anything, we can adjourn.
Join.
Okay.
Los amigos.
All right, thanks.
Oh, dinner.
Bye. Dinner.
Bye.
Everybody.
Bye.